Hi everyone. Today I was going to take you into my dining room. It's the long weekend coming up and we're all likely to do a little bit of entertaining or just relax at home. And how do we make that space a little bit cozier with a lot more ambient lighting? So I'm going to show you how we can use one of our Tealight centerpieces and various lanterns and tea lights to create a warm ambient feel, and more importantly how versatile they are in creating different looks for different occasions. So I'm going to hand it over to my daughter and she's going to be filming me of how we create different looks with our tea light centerpieces. So I'm just going to hand it over to Lara. Okay, you're going to capture it if you went over there, Lara. So what we're going to do today is to feature what we're going to do with this is one of our multi-tea light centerpieces. Now this comes in two sizes. This is the larger size and we also have it in a smaller size and in two colorways. So one is this copper, this pewter, champagne, dark chocolate brown look, and there's another, if you look on our website, another colorways where it is in a warmer glows of copper, gold and silver. Now, if you have a look at this, you can see that there's lots of different tea lights. It's all joined up. And I love using this as a tea light centerpiece in the middle of entertaining for dining because it doesn't block your eye line when you're talking to, your fellow diners, your guests perhaps. Now, it looks like you could just add a whole load of tea lights, but I'm going to show you how you can create a very different feel with it. And change it up and jazz it up depending on what the occasion is, just by adding a few bits and pieces. Now I've just got some leaves from the garden and I'm just going to show you that already it looks a lot warmer, a lot more inviting. Now depending on what you are trying to achieve, I'm going to add a little bit of colour because I love the tones of this bougainvillea, and I've just added a little jasmine, and this is all just common flowers we can get walking along the street in Singapore. Bougainvillea you have everywhere. So I didn't have time in the rain this morning to go out to the florist, but quite often, when you get just a little bit, you don't necessarily want to put a tea light on. Sorry, we've got a problem with our Wi-Fi connection. You can, instead of putting another tea light there, I've just put little pieces of the bougainvillea into each of this. You can have a look. And that just brightens up the whole tea light centerpiece. Gives it an added zest. And now I'm going to light it and you'll see how it just illuminates the whole space, the centerpiece all together. Hang on a sec, I think I need air conditioning. Just focus on that, Lara, while I turn this off because it's blowing the lights off. Okay, so apologies. So now when I light this, you can see how the whole centerpiece just comes alive. It brightens up your space. Great focal point when you are dining. We seem to have a missing tea light here, which I'm going to add on. Now, if you've got a birthday in the family, for example, and we've got one coming up with Lara, I'm just going to also then brighten it up with a little bit of jasmine, so you have a bit of colour contrast between the fuchsia pinks of the bougainvillea with the white jasmine flowers. This just helps to lift, adds a bit of contrast. You know how we love a contrast, and the jasmine also gives off a really lovely fragrance. So you can see how that's just brightened up instantly. Now, I was saying, we've got a birthday coming up in our family, and if you wanted to use these little you know, sort of, I don't know what you call them, I suppose they're decorations. And you can just add these on up to make it a little bit more festive for the birthday celebration. I've got them in these little bits over here, just making it stand out, using the red against the silver. And you can see I've just added some over here amidst the tea lights, and that just makes it sparkle a little. So this is one idea that you have for the Tealight Centerpiece, and I think it's a it's just literally using leaves from the garden, some white jasmine flowers, which are, you know, you find them all over Singapore, even just walking along the streets, and some bougainvillea, which you know you can literally walk out and it's everywhere. So you get a really lovely centerpiece in here. And I'm going to show you now a completely different look. If you didn't have any flowers, but you still wanted to do something that jazzes it up a bit. Okay, I'm going to remove these flowers now. And I'm going to show you a really easy, simple trick if you were doing it and it was more, you know, like a stylish entertainment evening. I'm going to take away the happy birthdays. And this is another trick up my sleeve. Sequins. Now I love sequins. A lot of you that have been to the showroom or see how I dress or what, you know, even in our home decor, I've always got a little bit of shine in it. And just by adding this, you can see it just gives it a little bit of sparkle. You don't have to put tea lights onto every bit of the Tealight Centerpiece. You can see it's a very different look. And if I were to remove the flowers all together, just kept the green on, of how this lends a different look with the sequins. Now I've got lots of different colors of sequins. I really like, these are the shell ones. And you can see it gives it a very sophisticated flair, different look altogether, but still equally enticing. I think very chic. And there you have it. You have a great dinner party centerpiece. Now if you look, I've also then had alongside the table our little tea lights, and I staggered these with one of our larger Tealight centerpieces. So when you're sitting down to eat, if you've got a table plan, I sometimes use this as a sort of name, you know, table setting with the person's name on it. And that shows everyone where to sit, makes them feel a little bit special because they've each got their tea light. Now you can see in the background while I'm lighting this, we've got our lanterns, 5 of them, which I've put out. And if you look, this also makes a really lovely backdrop. And adds a little bit of an illuminated glow. I'm going to turn all the lights off, and you can see how that just brings this sideboard alive. It kind of gives it a lift. It's quite a heavy, dark piece of antique Chinese furniture, and with these contemporary looking lanterns, just to give it a little bit more of a flair. And if you follow me over here, we've got a tray. And usually there would be some glasses here, you know, my champagne flutes. I meant to put them out, but I forgot. But you'll see that against the tray, the tea lights also stand out. So just coming back to our Tealight centerpiece, I wanted to show you guys how versatile it can be. You can place this on the floor as well, in an entrance, welcoming people when you come into the house, or you could create it as your centerpiece when you're entertaining in style, either your dining table, your coffee table, and just create a really warm